Hello. So today we will be trying to code a custom indicator which will have multiple uh, indicators included, the standard indicators. So let's begin. So first we open a blank chart and then we go to the formula editor. So I will try to save the file, AFL file, which is for the AFL is nothing but AmiBroker Formula Language. I'm going to name it as custom indicator with multiple standard indicators. So it's saved. So let's start. So the first we will begin with the section begin. So we'll code it as custom indicators. It's the start of the AFL program, and it should also end with section end. Next, what we will do is we will plot the candlesticks with the dates and axis. So already I have the snippets, so just to save time I will try to add the snippets here. So this is set chart options, which will basically display the arrows and dates, and then we use the plot function in order to plot the close of each candle and use the style candle as the style in the plot function variable, and then style no title, and this specific line is what gets displayed in the title of the chart. So here also you can, so here as you see it is displaying currently the name of the symbol, the interval, whether it's a 5 minute, 15 minute, 13 minute, or whichever interval you have chosen, and the current date, and then it's open, high, low, close, and also the rate of change, that is ROC is a function in AmiBroker which basically displays the rate of change. Okay, so once you have a candle, so let me show you. So we will try to save this and have the apply. Okay, so I have made a mistake here. All right, so now say apply, and here we have the chart. So this is a chart which is plotting the Reliance daily candles. Okay, so let's proceed. So now the first step would be for us to basically get our user inputs. So for user inputs in AmiBroker we use the param functions. So as a help, whenever you don't need to basically remember these functions. So as you get more acquainted with AmiBroker AFL, so it will be easy for you to recollect those function names. But if you want to see like what are the different arguments in the different functions, the best way to do it is when you just start typing, it will show you the different function names. So for instance, here we will be using for the EMA, we will use two EMAs. So for which we need, so EMA is nothing but exponential moving average, and here we will be using two exponential moving average crossovers. So for each of these exponential moving averages, we will now first get the period 1, which is for the EMA 1, and period 2 for EMA 2, but these will be dynamic variables which can be changed at runtime from the charts. Okay, so for that you use the param function. So we'll say param, and then it will show you what other things you need to give the function as input. So here we will say EMA1, EMA period 1, then default I'm keeping it as 9. Okay, so this is a short EMA, shorter time frame EMA. This is the minimum is 1, maximum is 100, and step is 1. So let me then add for the period 2. Okay, so here we have EMA period 2, and then the default I'm taking it as 13. Okay, so this is a longer term EMA. And then I will try to limit the trades so that you will have bullish signals only when the current close price is above the EMA 100, and if the current price is below the EMA 100, there will be no buy trades which are taken. So you need to wait for the price to go above the EMA 100 in order to basically take trades based on the crossover of the 9 period moving average going above the 13 period moving average. So we will show this in the chart too. Okay, so first let's complete it with period 3. So param EMA period, EMA period 3, here I'm taking 101, 101. Okay, so here we complete the user inputs. Now what is the next step? So the next step is basically getting ready with the data before we go to the trade logic. Okay, so now the first is EMA1. So this is a variable, and in order to compute EMA, you have an EMA function which will basically take a close as the variable. So close, so there are some standard arrays in AmiBroker. So AmiBroker is an array-based language. So array-based language as in that there are some standard arrays like OHLC, open, high, low, close, volume, and open interest. So here we are taking the close. So when we say close, it is not a single variable number, but it's basically the close is an array right from the start of from where we have the data in the database till the current candle. So close, and then we have to give the period, which we have basically taking a dynamic input from the user. So the default is 9, so this is what we give here. So EMA1 is calculated, then we will calculate EMA2. Here we need to change the period to 2, and then we will do the same for EMA3, which is a 100 period moving average. Okay, so all these things are done. Now next would be the trade logic. So in order to create a custom indicator, first of all we are using, so let's divide this into different conditions. We'll have condition 1 as the first variable, which we'll be finally using in the trade logic. So condition 1 is cross. A cross is a function. Okay, so one important point is whenever you want to get the details of each of these functions, what you can do is just put the cursor on top of this name and press F1. So the moment you press F1, so you will get this AFL reference will open, and you can see that cross is array 1, array 2. So you need to give the array which will be going above the second array, and in so here we are thinking about the 9 period EMA is going above the longer time frame or the longer period array, which is the 13 period array. That's the reason we have to give EMA1 comma EMA2. Okay, so here we are taking it at EMA1 comma EMA2. This is our condition number 1. All right, now the second condition is close has to be above EMA 3. So as I discussed, we will be basically taking the buy trades only when the current close price is above the EMA 100. Otherwise, we don't take any trades. Okay, so this is our condition 2. Now, condition 3 could be volume. So volume based condition. So here we can do different things, but just to keep things simple, here we are going to have a condition where the current candle volume is greater than the 20 period volume moving average. All right, so the volume we can write either V, which is also state. So here you can see ID V. So this is volume array, or you can just write volume. It's the same thing. So volume is greater than moving average. Okay, so MA is short form for moving average. But here we are going to compare the current candle volume with the 20 period moving average of the volume array. All right, so here for the array we need to give volume, and in the range we are requiring a 20 period moving average. So here, so this is the condition number 3. All right, so now we give the buy. Now buy is a variable which is a predefined in AmiBroker. All right, so when we say buy, so buy and sell, so these are predefined variables, and this is what defines our trade logic. So for buy, we will basically have condition 1 and condition 2. So this is a logical operator. So whenever we have to have two conditions or three conditions, and all of them need to be true. Okay. See, one thing you need to understand is whenever you have this expression, so this expression will evaluate either true or false. All right, it's sort of a binary. It's either true or false. So if it is true, so condition 1 will be true. And in order to combine different conditions, you have to use logical operators. So condition 1 and condition 2 and condition 3. And when there are two conditions, but you don't want a logical operator and, but you want or between them, which means that if either of these is true, then your trade logic is true. So any of these is true, like condition 1 is true or condition 2 is true, then also your trade logic is true. So likewise, you can basically use the logical operators. So for buy, first is the cross of shorter time frame above the longer time frame. So 9 period moving average is crossing over the 13 period moving average. Our close is above the EMA 100, and volume is above the 20 period moving average. So this is our condition. And for sell, we will be basically using a different logic. Okay, so maybe we can just specify buy condition 1. So for sell we will have different conditions, so let me append the buy. And likewise we'll have for sell conditions. Okay, so here it will be opposite. So EMA 2 going above, so EMA 1 is going below EMA 2. So as I said in the cross function, you need to give the name of the array which will be higher. So here in the cell, you're talking about a crossover of shorter period average going below a longer period average, which means it's bearish, so you will sell. Okay, and sell condition if close is greater. Okay, so here we don't need this because we are going to take a decision based on the crossover of 9 period and 13 period, so definitely it will be above the 100 period, so we don't need a condition 2, so we can delete it. Even for average, we can delete it. All right, so I think here it will be only based on the crossovers. So here we can just mention it as sell condition 1. So this is our trade logic. Now we will get multiple buy signals. So once buy has happened, we may get some 20 or any number of buys before a sell is generated, but we are not interested. Once a buy condition is generated, we are not interested on successive buys till a sell is coming, so we need to drop or ignore those. How we do that? So I will just write it. So remove the excessive signals, and we have a code snippet here. This is using the xrem function. So xrem, if you see the help, it is going to remove your excessive signals. So you can go through the AFL reference for xrem in order to get more information. Then let's plot our EMA. So we'll use the plot function. EMA1, we'll give the name as EMA1, comma, color green, and style line. Same thing will repeat for the next 3 EMAs. So this is EMA2. We will give it a color of the red, and for 100 period we will give color aqua. So now we have plotted the 3 EMAs. Next is we need to plot the buy and sell signals. For that there is already a code snippet which I am using. See, these are the code snippets. So once, for instance, you have written a logic and there is a high probability which you can decide that this can be reused in your future codes, so you can just save them as code snippets here and reuse them in your future AFL codes. So buy and sell signals are also plotted. So now we will just check the AFL code. There are no errors, and we'll say apply. The moment we say apply, we have done the logic. Now the only thing what remains here is that we are using volume, but we are not plotting it here because it will be on a different pane. But in the parameters you can see we have 9 period, 13 period and 100 period moving averages, exponential moving averages. So let's now just plot the volume. So here we have volume color. So this is the volume, and then we will also plot a average, that is a moving average. We'll drag it on top of volume, and we will say it's a 20 period moving average, like how we defined it in the code. So as you can see, it's moving average volume 20. So when volume is greater than the 20 period moving average of the volume array, then we can have a buy condition, which is buy condition 3. This will be true. So as you see, if we just try to zoom here, and try to see this specific candle. So as you see, it's above the 20 period moving average, and you also have a crossover of the green line, which is the 9 period EMA, above the 13 period EMA. Also the price is above the 100 EMA, so this is a valid buy signal, and here it continues. And when the crossover of the 9 period EMA is going below the 13 period EMA, we are exiting the trade. So this is a simple setup which will basically show how we can use these indicators and combine them in order to create our trade logic. So just to give you another hint, we can add more conditions. For instance, we can have a buy condition 4, and we can say we can use the RSI. So RSI, the range is 14, which is the default. This so usually we all use 14 period RSI, but you can also put it in the param as a variable and get the input from user, like which period of RSI you want to use. Okay, so we can say that if RSI is above, so maybe we can put param here, RSI is overbought, and RSI is oversold, and we can say param RSI overbought level, and our overbought level will be 70. 1 is the minimum, 100 and 1 is a step. Same thing, let's copy and just change. So oversold, and our default will be 30. So we are using 70 30 for the time being. So RSI overbought and oversold are the variables which are dynamic. And in our buy condition 4, we can say that if buy condition is greater than 30, or here we have to use RSI oversold, and sell condition will be, so we will use the sell condition 2, and we will say RSI is lower than RSI oversold, and here we need RSI overbought. So for the time being, maybe we will use and buy condition 4 and sell, and in the sell logic we have sell condition 4, and now we'll use the sell condition 2, and that's all. Now when you just check whether everything is right in your AFL by using the AFL syntax checker, and then you just put apply function, and this is what you get. Okay, just to double check, you can even plot the RSI and a separate pane. So here we have the RSI, this is our RSI. If you see in the parameters, it's RSI 15, so just change it to 14. Okay, and then the levels are 70 30, it's already chosen, so this is what it is. So here what do we see? So in this candle our RSI is at 48, which is above 30, so you have a valid buy signal, and this is going here, and here you are below 70, so again you are having a sell signal. Okay, and you can play around with the code with many other ways of using RSI. For instance, you can basically use something called fractals in order to add more filters to your trade logic, mainly on the buy side or the sell side. So fractals is one way by which you can detect reversals. There are other ways also wherein you can use some kind of a stop loss triggers for exiting the trades. You can use ATR based stop loss or some fixed stop loss. So it's just a beginning or a canvas, and you can just keep on adding more layers to it in order to have a robust strategy. So I think we will stop here, as this is a basic strategy and a template which I wanted to show. So next time probably we will be taking up some indicators. We will try to code these indicators, and we will try to also backtest them in order to see the profitability curve, the equity curve, and also the drawdown. Okay, so thank you for now.